morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 192 as we're going to be talking about the coaching carousel as we're still not off this ride yet. There's coaches that still need to be hired and coaches that have just got hired. We got to talk about the Bill Belichick drama, not First Ballot Hall of Fame, and then college football. Deion Sanders starting something that I think a lot of coaches are going to do after. And finally, LeBron goes back to Cleveland one last possible time and gets emotional for it. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Sox.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 192. I'm here with Anthony and Tim. We got our full group back. Let's talk about the coaching carousel. We got new people in places. We got places still need to be filled. So let's hear about it. The Browns, which their hiring process sounded insane, but they ended up hiring the former offensive coordinator for the Ravens, Monken. I don't have a first name there.
I think it's Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, so they ended up hiring him as their head coach. What do we think about that? Anthony, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I let's remember, he had a good offense with Lamar Jackson this last year. Obviously, Lamar Jackson was injury prone, had a lot of injuries this past year, but I don't know if the Cleveland Browns are trying to make Shedeur Sanders into Lamar Jackson, because once you hired him, you actually caused more chaos. Because then Jim Schwartz was like, well, I thought I was going to get the position. So now he's talking about being out, which then added to Myles Garrett posting a picture of like the frustrated person working at like a restaurant or whatever. Myles Garrett, you have nowhere to talk. Yeah. You wanted out. You went for money instead. So there'll never be a conversation. You're not going to be Josh Allen in the room getting to name who the next head coach is. That's not what you're in. You're in for the money. This is what it's going to be going forward. It does suck for him because Jim Schwartz is the defensive coordinator, and he is his coach. But yeah, we'll see what Monken does with this. I will say this real quick. Cleveland Browns and the Jets are just giving a run for each other's money on how stupid and garbage the programs can be. And we'll obviously talk about the Jets a little bit later, but yeah, maybe it's a good hire, maybe it's not. I don't think it's going to be. You just replaced one old guy for another old guy. So here we go.
Yeah, so you're telling me he passed the personality test, the whatever test that they put out there. Like, it just seemed obnoxious. But Tim, what did you think about this?
And you wonder why Cleveland's a dumpster fire. I heard all the testing that these guys had. You had guys, this Udelski and Schoenhaus, which is the quarterback's coach, I think, or the whatever at the Rams, take their names out of it. Because they're not going to, these coaches, especially a well-known coach, is not going to go through their garbage of analytics and stuff like that to go through that to be a coach at Cleveland. Right. Why would you? Why would you want to? I think if you were going to hire another OC, then why did you just keep with Stefanski? I think Bob Stefanski says, you know what? I've had enough of this BS that's going on around here. It's time for me to get the hell out of here because we can't get along with the owner. That owner, Jesus, how he had enough as a businessman. I know he ran Love's. How he could buy an NFL team and the 3/4 of the ownership said, "Yeah, go ahead, buy this. We'll take you." It's a mess there. And as far as Jim Schwartz, he ain't coming back. You know what he did? Peace out, brothers.
Yep.
He promised me I don't know if they promised him the job, but he was a leading candidate for it. And then you come in with this guy here, yeah. And they asked him to stay on. He said, "I don't think so."
Yeah, we did see on the Pat McAfee show today that they were talking about like when does the NFL step in? Yeah. Like just it's bad decision after bad decision, and they were even joking around that like Kevin Stefanski literally purposely did things to get fired, whether it was getting a second quarterback or not playing Shedeur or just doing things, step by step of constantly being like, okay, I want out of here because he got a job. I thought he would have to take a year off or go to be an offense coordinator, he got a job immediately. Think about his upgrade. He's now got either Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins or whatever you're going to do with that situation. But you got the wide receiver for them. You got Bijan Robinson. You got all these players. He had nobody in Cleveland. Absolutely nobody. So he took a step up. But, yeah, the Cleveland Browns, someone's got – the NFL, Roger Goodell, you got to step in because it's a dumpster fire.
So you're saying he sabotaged the team, basically?
That was the joke on Pat McAfee was that they were obviously –
Damn.
I mean, hey, some owners have told some coaches to sabotage in the past. Ryan Flores. So
Damn, that's crazy. Well, in other news, we have the Titans hired Shala for their head coach and Dabble for the offensive coordinator. Tim, what do you think about that one?
I like that. That's going to help Cam Warren out. We know what Dable did in Buffalo when he was the OC there. He helped Josh Allen. I don't know if Cam Warren is that, but it's a great step forward. And I think this is going to be great for him. I think this is great all the way around by hiring Dable. I think that's going to help Cam Warren. Don't get me wrong; they need a lot more pieces than just that. But this is a step in the right direction for Tennessee, and they need that because after firing Vrabel, man, they kind of went backwards a little bit. So I think this is a great hire.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they got two strong leads here. Hopefully that will replicate into the season. Anthony, what did you think?
Yeah, you got a good Robert Saleh with the defense, and then you got Dable for the offense as well. But we got to talk about something real quick. Their meetings, and on the sideline, you're going to get some hella glares because those bald-headed dudes out there are just, you can't see in the meeting room now because there's going to be glares off two bald heads. The defensive coordinator has to be bald. It can't be anything less than that. But yeah, no, I think this is a good situation for the Titans. I think Cam Ward is a good quarterback. Even through all the crap that went through this year, with Callahan getting fired, like what's halfway through the season. I think this is a good situation. I do worry a little bit that Dable is not going to be there long. So what can you get out of it unless you're successful quick? Because his name was getting brought up for head coaching positions. So if that offense just takes one step forward, which it's probably going to just based on Cam Ward playing a second year, he might be gone. So then you're just doing this search all over again.
Yeah.
Well, and then Anthony teased the Jets. The Jets almost got Martindale from Michigan's defensive coordinator, but Martindale said, hell nah. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so they brought Don Wink. People will call him Wink. Martindale, they flew him to meet with Aaron Glenn. So Don lets his staff know, hey, we're going to the Jets. It sounds like a done deal. He gets there, and Aaron Glenn, I don't know what the hell this man is thinking, pretty much puffs up his chest and says, well, you're coming here, but you're not calling defensive plays. I call defensive plays. So Don got back on that jet and said, yeah, then piss off, and heads back. Now, you think, what the is going on? Do you remember last year when they flew Aaron Rodgers out to tell them they're no longer going to have him? This could all be done in a text message because Don could have done the same thing and then sent the middle finger emoji to him and said, okay, then I don't want to coach for you guys. I will say this real quick, Aaron Glenn, be prepared for looking for defensive coordinator positions next year because you are going to get fired this upcoming year. You 100%. It is you've not taken that team anywhere forward, if anywhere backwards with the trades that have happened. Sauce Gardner's gone now. Right? That was at least one defensive. Your D lineman that was worth the crap. He's gone now. You'd have a quarterback situation where no team wants Justin Fields, and that's who you would throw out there. Like, Aaron Glenn, you trying to trust me. Results got to happen quickly if you want to do the whole trust me thing, but pissing people off like this, who now wants to come in and do this shit? So,
and it's not many people that want to have that discussion face to face. And how many times have the three of us or anybody who's been working been like coming out of a meeting being like, yeah, that could have been done over an email.
Yes.
Waste of my time. Like, let alone having to fly a jet, talk about waste of gas and everything. But Tim, what did you think about that?
Well, it kind of reminds me of a team that I root for. Have you seen this week that the Denver fired their OC? He's the same guy that can't call any plays neither.
Hmm.
Why would you have somebody like that if you're not going to trust him to call the plays? Sean Payton still calls the plays. So what does that guy do? He game plans for them. He helps in the game plan. But the final decision is with Sean Payton. So you think Wink Martindale is going to go to a Jets dumpster fire, Woody Johnson's dumpster fire, and go there and he's not going to be able to call it? Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I'd say, pick up and get somebody, get a lackey to do that. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you're not going to, you're paying these people six figures at least, if not in the millions, let them do their job. That's what they're coming there for. And you're going to tell me you're not going to be able to make the call?
Well, and Don's not like, he's nothing to sneeze at. Like,
No.
he's a defensive coordinator that's done pretty well in his past and stuff like that. You brought that up. I wanted to bring that up about the offense coordinator. Irrational decision. An irrational decision by Sean Payton. Because why? Why is he getting fired? Because you lost that game because you went for the field goal. You went for it on fourth down instead of kicking a field goal. Because that guy made that call, right? No. Sean Payton made that call.
Exactly.
So I don't understand the firing on that. Who you think you're going to bring in, unless you plan on bringing someone in so that it takes it off Sean Payton's plate. But if we've learned one thing about Sean Payton, he is not letting go any control on that team. Russell Wilson and him fought because of control. Yep. So that was just such a irrational decision to just be like, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, his ego's too big that he's not. Why then just be the OC to then? If you're going to do that, then just do it all. Then, if you can't give up control of it, then you just do it all. Then, that's just a puppet. It's a puppet for him. He, underneath of him, and this is what I want you to do, and just carry out my orders.
Well, so that means we have, out of this coaching carousel, we have 2 teams left with a head coach and a handful of coaches still looking for positions. So I feel like it's starting to get a little bottleneck here. We have
one last thing. We said there's 2 teams left. There's one coach out there that I still cannot believe is not getting interviews.
Well, I was going to get there, but what do you think it is?
It's John Gruden. How is John Gruden not getting? Supposedly he did get a call from either Cleveland or the Jets or something like that, and he was like, "No, not happening." But like, how is John Gruden still not coaching?
Like, you know what? This lawsuit and that I hate to use that word. They ruled it's a gentleman. It's not a gentleman. It's the guys' club. If you get numbered, then this is what's going to happen. It'll take you a while to get another job, and that's probably why it is. And I have a feeling these next 2 hirings is going to come from one of these 2 teams that are playing the Super Bowl.
I think they both do. I think they both come from Super Bowl or the 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl.
Yes,
I think they're both.
That's why I think they're waiting on one of those 2 teams, and I think Clint Kubiak is one of them.
Yep, and I think the other one is from the Seahawks. So, like see, Clint, yes, Clint, and then I think
he's the OC for Seahawks, yeah.
Yes, and then I wouldn't be surprised if Patriots, one of them, get picked up. Josh McDaniels sitting out there.
Yeah, but he's pretty loyal to the Patriots and to Vrabel. I don't see that. See that.
He's got a 23-year-old, and they already made a Super Bowl. I don't know why he'd give it up, but it's not like he's not done it in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the 2 remaining teams we have to fill head coaching positions is the Cardinals and the Raiders. So we have some openings still happening there. I did see, and I was curious what you guys thought about this and what his thoughts were for next year, but I saw McDermott was going to just pass on this year and come back next year. Do you think there's a team that he's eyeing for next year?
No. I think he just got dragged through the mud. I think that's what Buffalo did right there. Was one of those things where it's like, all right, I made my money. I'm going to take a year off. I'll go sit on Pat McAfee's show. I'll go to Fox on Sunday. I'll go do this. It's what Vrabel did. It's what all these other coaches have done, where they took a year off and they just went buddy. They went and seen their buddies at each camp and then picked it up. And then he can still stay within getting updates on rule changes and things like that. So, no, I don't think he's eyeing a team, but I think he'll be a hot commodity next year, depending on how Buffalo does. If Buffalo does well next year, I can see his name kind of jumping out of the pack.
Interesting. Okay, that's a fair assumption there too. Okay. Well, in coaching talks, we had some big news hit. Bill Belichick did not get in the First Ballot Coaching Hall of Fame, which I think is just absolutely absurd. And I'm sure you both agree with this too. But let me get your thoughts. Tim, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not understanding this. He must have pissed off a lot of people. That's all I could tell. I could tell you. We got people out there that are voting that don't even know who they voted for. Bill Polian. He didn't even know who the three people, because apparently they get 3 votes or 3 people to put in there, and he didn't actually know who he voted for. This happened 2 weeks ago. You mean to tell me you don't know? If you cannot do that, maybe you shouldn't do it anymore. They were also saying that some of these older players, like Kenny Anderson, I think it was, from Cincinnati, some of these older players that haven't got in, they have like a veterans committee, kind of like how baseball does, and they'll vote you in there as well if you don't make it on so many tries. They thought that maybe they could do that. I think this is highway robbery. And they're also coming back to Spygate and Deflategate. Okay, I've got a stat for you. Since then, 2007, the guy has won almost 200 games, won 3 Super Bowls. Out of that group there's probably been 3 or 4 coaches that are in the Hall of Fame that got it.
Mm-hmm.
And they won just as many games. They won just as many Super Bowls. It's unbelievable. I mean, even you take out that the Spygate and Deflategate, he's still got almost 200 victories.
Yeah.
Come on. You've got to put him in. And he didn't receive 40 of the 50 votes. So he wasn't even close.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God.
He was only 2 away.
Oh.
He was only 2, so he had 38.
38 of the 40.
40, yep.
Right.
So there's 50 all in total, and he needed 40 to get it, and 12 people said no.
Do you think it's because after Brady left, he kind of went down, and that's what they're looking at the past, not really the current results instead of what he did before that? I don't know, but yeah, I think this is highway robbery. And I didn't like the guy because he didn't give anything to the press. He didn't give anybody to the people or nothing. When he did interviews, he was very stale, but his record shows itself. He should be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought he had to prove himself because he showed by example what he could do. But Anthony, give me your thoughts. Can you tell me too, like, what is the year difference to like begin to get into the Hall of Fame too? Because I know he coached Patriots long ago, but
yeah. So like for the coaches, I don't think there is a time period. And maybe it is like 2 or 3 years, maybe. But like, remember, this is the Pro Hall of Fame. Okay, this is not NFL. This is not college football. College football people can make it into this based on what they've done, right? So like Nick Saban, probably going to be a first ballot, right? But how do you not talk about the past of NFL when there's been, 59 Super Bowls? And the man's got 8? The man's got 8 out of the 59. You can't talk about the history of the NFL without putting Bill Belichick in there. So you could say Spygate. You could say whatever bullshit you want to say. The problem with this is these people that are voting are too damn old. Get out of here with this bullshit. 82 years old, go live in your mansion and shut the hell up. Just like our politicians, just like our corporate worlds, things like that. Maybe this is my vent of the day. But it's one of these things where these people do not deserve a vote. And then I think J.J. Watt said it the best. All these people are like, whoa, we shouldn't have to show our votes. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Because when a situation like this happens there's no coach that should ever be a first ballot then. Never. And there shouldn't be any players either. Because now you're going to penalize Tom Brady next year when he's available? Are you going to penalize him? Because he better not be first ballot. Because, no, if Bill Belichick, it's absolutely stupid. 100% what I think led to it is the bullshit that's happened at UNC. It's 100% that. It's all this media problem having it just because he's away from the Patriots. If the man would have just retired and walked away from football or coached high school, he would have easily got this. But Bill, you were saying that Polian, he did come back and give he had to read off a piece of paper because God forbid he actually speaks. Read off a piece of paper saying that yes, he voted for him. And I do think there's a couple votes in there that they're like, I'm not going to put him because everyone else will put him. But he should have got 50 out of 50 votes. So the 12 people that did not vote for him, they should lose their spot. 100%. Lose it. And we should be getting to that point. We talk about it in baseball. We talk about it in the NBA. Every year we talk about these voting. And all it is stupid people that don't even watch the sport anymore voting for something that doesn't even like. And it matters. It matters to a lot of people. So,
Well, and you're also telling me that there's nobody in the Hall of Fame that has any controversies against them. Please,
yeah, well,
please.
that's the NFL. I mean, that's every good player's got a little controversy with him.
Yeah.
So
whether that was in the past or who he's dating now or where he's coaching now, like it doesn't matter. His record speaks for himself. Like the numbers matter. If we're gonna talk about analytics and why he deserves to be there, that's what matters, not the rest of that bullshit.
Well, and that they always pride themselves on it's on the field. Nothing off the field gets mattered. And it's like, so you can't tell me then. Because everything on the field was perfection. Literally a dominance of 20 years. Like, you will never see it again.
No.
Because now, you know who the person that I'm thinking of coming up eventually? Is Andy Reid.
Yeah.
He better not even sniff that first round. Because he ain't even half the coach that Bill Belichick was. Literally, by numbers, isn't even half. Like, it's just, yeah, it's crazy. This is the shit where actual football fans get so mad because it's like, I don't know who we're giving power to, but just give it to me. Give it to me then. Because he would have easily, if you got 3 choices, he'd be 1, 2, and 3 for me. Like that, it just doesn't make sense. He's not in.
Yep.
But they did say that the Hall of Fame is investigating and looking into who did not vote for him. So nothing will change.
We'll see.
It ain't gonna change. And don't worry, they're not gonna say any names.
Oh yeah,
to keep their name and image very well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but this was a bad look.
Oh,
so
but that's bad.
you said
And you
that
think that the NFL is not like that. The NFL is not like that. Baseball, yes. Basketball, but the NFL keeps it pretty squeaky. The Shield keeps it pretty squeaky clean. And this one, yes, this was a bad optic. Very bad.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with the Super Bowl coming right around the corner here, we have some interesting news about how this might play out because both of the quarterbacks are in the injury report right now. We've known Sam Darnold being with his oblique injury, but now we have a surprising one with Drake May, who has something going on with his shoulder. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where you have to let the teams know who's got some type of injury.
Okay.
Every single player that is a starter that is on either the Seahawks or the Patriots is fighting something.
Sure.
But if you are getting extra rehab than normal, you have to report it. The media is going crazy with this. Drake May, stuff like I saw Cam Newton today. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how this man is on TV. Cam Newton said that Drake May is not the reason they're in the Super Bowl. Drake May is the offense. He allows for the running backs to be the running backs that they want to be. He gets the ball to the wide receivers. He has one good name wide receiver. And I'm not saying the Cardi B's baby daddy. I'm saying Kevin Bootey's better than him. Like Drake May is a stud, but after watching the Broncos play with the backup quarterback, both of these quarterbacks better play. I don't need any injury problems going into the Super Bowl because we saw what a team looks like when a backup comes in. And I don't want that for my Super Bowl.
No shade to Denver.
Yeah, no shade there.
Well, it is what it is on that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy to hear you say that a quarterback, as Cam Newton is saying, that a quarterback isn't one running the field. Yeah.
Cam Newton just talks out of his ass just to keep himself relevant. Now, I think there's a lot of times where he says great things, but like when he gets on that first take, I don't know if it's like something in the air with Stephen A. Smith, where they just like start like hallucinating and stuff like that. They start losing their shit because Cam Newton, he's been on fire for worst takes of all time these past couple weeks, whether it's Notre Dame or this, like.
Yeah, he's on your shit list right now.
And I like him. I like the dab. Just stay on the sideline.
Tim, did you have any?
Would you?
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on the injury report?
Well, and I was watching a show out of Boston, and a guy that follows the team said he could not tell whatsoever how if there's an injury, it's a no deal. What's right now?
Yeah,
no big deal because the way he was, and they were all saying coming back to why he's been struggling because of the shoulder injury. No, it's because like in the Denver game, it looked like he had happy feet. He was out of the pocket moving, And as far as Cam Newton saying what he said, he's got a legitimate his stat line. If you look at his stat line, he ain't tearing it up. I can tell you what, in the 3 games, he's not tearing it up.
But he's an MVP candidate.
All the way through the regular season. In this postseason, I would not. I would no.
No. Time out. He went against Denver's defense. They were pretty good, right? You kind of fluted your balls all year about the Denver's defense. He went against the Houston Texans, which they prided themselves on it. And he went against a Chargers defense. It was pretty solid. Can we give this 23-year-old a break? Yes, he had fumbles and stuff. He went against the Patriots' record against these defenses is undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think that's where he's looking at the stat line and not looking at the overall deal.
Yes.
And he has struggled. He is not the same player he was in weeks 1 through 17. He is not. And you're right. They went through some great defenses, but he's still not. He's not there. And maybe because he's the MVP is because he had a weak schedule too. On top of that,
for Christ's sakes.
So I mean, you got to put that in involvement too with it.
In your apartment, do you got a little bit of that Stephen A. Smith little bullshit going on? Because you are literally repeating everything that these people are saying, and it's crazy how bad that take is. Because you can't say in the NFL, oh, you had a weak schedule, that's how you made it to the Super Bowl. You still had to win 3 games.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
But you're saying he had a good year because they had a weak schedule.
I am as a fantasy boy. He did pretty good for me.
So he obviously plays pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But now he's not. But now he has struggled, and I don't know if it's because of the injury or maybe it's the game's catching up to him too. You know, he is not used to be playing. What is it now? We're at 20, 21. It'll be 21 games this year. Maybe he's getting tired. Maybe that shoulder isn't what it used to. What it is because he hasn't built it up yet.
Yeah, no, we can move on. This is crazy. He went against 2 of the best defenses in the AFC.
No, I get it. That's why I'm just saying. I think that's where he's coming from. His stat line ain't great. Not even close. I mean, the last game, weather barring, he didn't break 100, not 100 for throwing the ball around.
Hey,
88 yards, 86 yards.
He got that 4 yards though.
He did,
and got that first down, and need that shit right there.
And that's all. Hey, win in advance. That's all you got to do. Win in advance. Survive in advance. What do I keep telling you?
Yeah.
I saw this on social media today that speaking of injuries, I saw that Josh Allen was walking to the press conference with a boot on today. Do you guys know what that's about?
No, I think it's just like because he was on Joe Brady was on Pat McAfee today, and he showed up on crutches and stuff like that. Ain't nothing to worry about. That man.
Some rehab.
Honestly, I think it's fake. He's Superman. Like, that man does not get injured. Unless there's a little kryptonite in the room, that ain't him.
Well, we had some news in college football that we wanted to bring up. I thought this was pretty interesting, but Deion Sanders is going to start handing out fines to players if they miss things, if they're late to things. And I have my opinions about this, but I wanted to hear what you guys had about this first. Anthony, what did you think about when you saw this?
I love it. I absolutely love it because it was the case before NIL. You showed up late to practice. You showed up late to films. You stuff like that. You got benched. Now you get a little money in the pockets. Now we're talking millions of dollars, and we're paying you to show up on time to do this. You know what that's called? That's called the real world. Go to your job and don't show up one day. Don't come on time. They will fire your ass, okay? I love it. I love it for Deion Sanders because guess what also? Just say you're good enough to make it to the league. They do the same shit in the league. So this is just a warning, little taste. He's going to, if you fail to attend a practice, $2,500. Bam, gone, right? Miss film sessions, $2,000, gone, bam. Being late to practice, $500, bam, gone. I love it. I think you have to hold players accountable because it's also, we have to remember, whether we're paying these kids millions of dollars or not, they are 18 to 26, because some are pretty old, but 18 to 24, 22 years old, okay? They're still growing up. And if I would tell you right now, if I had a kid that was going to go play and I heard a coach like this, I would love it. Because putting a little discipline in a situation where their heads are just
Well,
Get
the
paid
whole
with the
world is
helmet on.
blowing up on them. Like, they're becoming famous. They're becoming millionaires. They're
Yep.
getting rich. Like, it's accountability and responsibility. And it's exactly the characteristics you need to succeed in life, not just in this little blimp of a phase of your life. You know, you're hitting your peak, right? Like, you need that accountability. You need to be grounded to be the fact, like, I have to focus on this. Like, yes, I'm a student athlete, but my focus is on football. But I need to show up when I need to show up. I can't slack off. I can't be lazy. I have a job to do. Tim, what did you think? Do you agree?
I don't know. I mean, like you said, they're 18 to 26-year-olds. Yes, it does show them responsibility. But I like to know, Anthony, where's this money going towards? Who's getting these fines? Who gets this money?
It's gonna go right back to the college that's paying these damn kids.
Okay, I'm just wondering because that's how it goes in the NFL. I agree with you. I like it, but $2,500. What if it's a kid that is an NI deal that's all their money is $2,500?
I
You're
bet
going to fine him $2,500 too?
They're
There's
not
got to
going
be
to show
some
up
kind of
late.
but there's got to be some discrepancy with it.
Nope,
I mean,
nope.
yeah, I think I think it's a little going. But I'll tell you right now, he better win then, because if you're going to do this, your team better win, and not win just 3 games. He better win. He better have him in the playoffs next year. If he's not, this ain't going to work, because these kids ain't going to go there. These kids are not going to go there. They're going to say, screw you.
I don't think the problem is with the people getting, lesser than the NIL. It's the people who are getting, they're rolling in money. The people that are, expecting to be 5-star recruits. That's where this message is probably going towards. And when you're talking to, honestly, Anthony and I being college athletes, obviously former, we understand everything that goes into it. And you need that. You definitely need that push, because otherwise you're just going to think you're on top of the world, and you're not. You're going to get grounded really quick.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, too, it won't be the kid that's not getting $1 missing practice. It's not going to be that situation, but I love it even if it is the kid that doesn't, because you still got a full ride to this college, okay? We paid to play in college. So I do agree with this. I definitely agree that he better start winning. But I could tell you right now, that sounds like something Kirby Smart would do. That sounds like something Marcus Freeman would do.
And you know what? They may be already doing it. It's just under the table or under the radar.
Yes, and it's holding players accountable. And
I
just
agree,
to finish up my thing, I believe players should get paid. I'm not trying to say that people shouldn't make any money off this. Players should make it. But you should also be a person that on campus you represent the football program and the college in a good manner. If you're not showing up to class, if you're not showing up to practice or film sessions, then you're not doing those great steps to be that. So I love it for Deion. I do think other colleges are doing it. I would not be surprised. That little flag behind me ain't not doing something, because that's a student athlete. That's not an athlete student. That's a student athlete. So they don't play around there.
And they care about their GPA.
Or they're not there. Or they're not there. Plain and simple.
Exactly. And I know Northwestern is another school that's very more focused. You have to have good grades.
Well, I mean, there were just special kind of people that go to them schools. They know what they need to get out in life.
Yeah. Well, and this is again a final thing I'll say is there's only so many NFL players. Mm-hmm. There's a way better chance that you're going to become an accountant or a analyst somewhere than you actually being an NFL player. So let's teach you from college on accountability.
Yep.
Absolutely, because sometimes that trait gets lost.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up our college football and our NFL talk. Let's move over to our NFL news.
NBA.
We have NBA news. My apologies. NBA news. The Lakers played against Cleveland, and Cleveland did an appreciation video for LeBron that he got pretty emotional on. Now, Tim, I know that you're an NBA fan and you're a LeBron fan. What did you think about that?
I thought it was kind of nice. I think he's reminiscent that maybe this is the last time he's playing in Cleveland.
Yeah.
For the Lakers. I don't know if he'll come back, but I think this is it for him in LA, because I think they want to get on with Doncic. So this was a nice deal. I'm not ruling out that he couldn't go back. He can go back to Cleveland, because I did see a deal that if he plays next year, he'll play 24 seasons, and out of them 24, 12 of them, if he goes to Cleveland, will be with Cleveland.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that would be a special thing. Look, and Bronny's got a slam dunk last night. Of course, the Lakers got blown out by Cleveland, but I thought it was special. I think Cleveland is always going to be, his heart is always going to be in Cleveland, no matter where he goes, who he's played for. Cleveland's got a special place in his heart, and I think he just kind of started reminiscing a little bit and kind of broke down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice sentiment to, the dedication and the awareness that he put on that program.
Yeah.
Anthony, what did you think?
Yeah, so let's just talk real quick. The relevant years. Has the Cleveland Browns been any good? No. Have the Cleveland Guardians, Indians, I know it's been a while, have they been relevant? They made it to a World Series, but the Cubs won. What about, do they have anything else that no. If you talk about the past, it's LeBron in Cleveland. That is the only thing that Cleveland could put their hat on is LeBron James and him being there. He couldn't get him there, goes to Miami, comes back and gets him that trophy. I can only imagine what that video. I didn't even actually see the video.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, all the videos have been just LeBron on the bench. Obviously got a shirt over him. But then think about this for a moment. All the time he's been there, he's got his mom in the stands that they have struggled before he became who he is in our heads, right? Struggled. And she is sitting there watching her son and her grandson playing a basketball. How could you not get emotional? This is what sports is about. I know I've seen people be like, LeBron getting emotional. I'm sorry, but yes, he's an athlete and he's a human.
Yeah.
But he has been the absolute perfect NBA person because even Jordan's got a little scandal behind him with every little thing. LeBron's been absolutely perfect ever since the start to finish. I don't see him going back to Cleveland. I honestly see this is it. This year it looks like it's tough on him.
Right.
Don't get me wrong though. He takes off from that free throw line and dunks it still pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I think the body is starting to kind of, and the mind. I think the mind's also kind of telling him.
Right.
And you don't love to hear about a little bit of this genie bus and that noise kind of coming out either. Because I can see his time in Lakers being done just because of that alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is episode 192. We talked about the coaching carousel in the NFL and college football and a little NBA as the football season will unfortunately wrap up. And we'll have to talk about other things about the NBA and NHL and things like that. But we're going to keep on our football. It's not even this weekend, the Super Bowl. We got another weekend of it. Next week will be interesting, though, because it's Super Bowl week. So you get all these interviews. That's when kind of some hot topics kind of come out and stuff like that. So always keep tuned to what Cover 2 Cook's doing. We will not be there, but we'll be doing this. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all those. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday. I don't know what we're going to talk about on Monday. Hopefully something comes up, but we'll talk on Monday. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram. But if not, enjoy a little bit of the warmth that's coming this weekend. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.